Right, so get this. We're diving into artistic coaching today.
Oh, interesting.
And no, before you go picturing athletes like, I don't know, painting landscapes.
Right, right.
It's not exactly like that.
Yeah, it's more about, and this is what I find so fascinating. It's like this realization that artistic training, it can actually like unlock these new dimensions of athletic potential.
Okay.
Like we're talking about using skills from the arts to actually make you better at sports in ways you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, when I first saw like a job description or career guide, I think it was, that was specifically for artistic coaches, I was like, what? Like, is that?
That's a thing.
Yeah, like a whole career path for blending art and sports.
It really shows you how much like the lines are blurring between different fields, right?
Totally.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. An artistic coach, they're digging into all these different art forms. They're
Right.
figuring out, researching how those skills can actually make athletes better. And then they're creating like these custom programs. Wow.
For individual athletes or even whole teams.
So it's like, instead of just your classic drills and plays, it's like adding in like body control and expression and even like, what's the word, spatial awareness?
Exactly. Think about a dancer for a second.
Okay.
They're the masters of controlling their body, right?
Right.
Now, imagine an athlete, any athlete, being able to move with that same kind of precision, that intention.
Oh, wow.
That translates to faster reactions, smoother movements, just a heightened awareness of where their body is in space.
So it's like adding this whole other layer of like finesse to how they play, to their game.
Exactly, yeah.
And I noticed the guide mentioned dance, obviously, but then acting and this thing called transmission. And I'm really curious about how acting especially fits into all this.
Okay, so think of it this way.
Okay.
An actor, they train to really embody, to convey emotions like super authentically.
Right.
Often under a lot of pressure.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Yeah, picture an athlete in like a really, really important competition.
Okay, yeah.
By using acting techniques, they can learn to like channel their nerves, make them work for them. They can learn to read what their opponent is feeling just by looking at them.
Wow.
And even like use their own emotions strategically.
So it's almost like you're giving them the mental game on top of the physical skills.
Exactly.
Okay, that's acting. I got that. But transmission, what's a good example of that in like a sports context?
All right, picture this. A basketball player, totally in the zone, sinks a three-pointer like it's nothing.
Okay, classic.
So on the surface, it's just a shot, right?
Yeah.
But it's their posture, their focus, maybe a little fist pump after the basket.
Yeah.
That's transmission.
Okay.
It's the story they're telling, the emotions they're showing through how they play.
Interesting.
And it affects how everyone sees them.
Wow, you're right. It's like they're adding a layer of strategy, of presence that goes way beyond just being able to, shoot the ball or whatever their sport is.
Totally.
And I'm guessing that's something you can actually develop and improve with the right coach.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a big reason why we're seeing more and more teams who are like, okay, artistic coaches, we need that. Yeah. It's not just a fad. It's actually strategic.
It's like you always hear people say, like, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
It's like they're taking that to, like, the Olympics, to pro sports.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes sense if you think about how competitive it is out there these days.
Well, yeah.
Like every team is looking for something to give them an edge.
For sure.
And this artistic training, it's like a whole new set of tools.
Yeah. And it's not just about like winning more games or whatever. Like I was reading how this can impact an athlete's like their brand.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about those athletes, the ones who like transcend their sport.
Right.
They're not just good, they're captivating,
Totally.
They have that charisma, they have that presence that like draws you in.
It's like the whole Michael Jordan effect.
Yes.
Like, yeah, he was amazing at basketball, but it was more than that.
It was like performance art.
Yes, exactly.
And that's something that this artistic coaching can develop, It helps them, the athletes, connect with people, with audiences on a different level.
Yeah.
Which makes them more fun to watch.
Right.
And, let's be real, way more marketable.
It's like they're creating their own brand, which is like everything these days.
It's huge.
So, okay, say someone's listening and they're like, all right, this artistic coaching thing, I'm into it. How do I become one?
Well, the guide actually laid out like a whole path for that.
Okay.
It usually starts with like an entry-level type of position.
Yeah.
You're helping out more experienced coaches. You're focusing on really specific techniques.
So it's like an apprenticeship almost.
Totally. Like you said, learning the ropes,
Right.
getting those skills down before you go out on your own.
And then you move up to like a junior coaching role.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's when you start to design and run your own program. You get to individualize your approach for each athlete, really tailor it.
And then eventually you could be like the senior artistic coach, right?
Yep. Overseeing everything, mentoring the new coaches coming up.
So it really is like any other coaching path.
It is. You work your way up, get that experience, become the expert.
And like with, I'm sure, all types of coaching, you've got to constantly be learning.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
The guide actually really emphasized that staying current on research, going to workshops, you got to always be growing.
Yeah, because the world of sports is changing so fast.
Constantly.
And with something like artistic coaching, I bet it's even more so.
Absolutely. Especially with how much technology is changing everything.
Oh, speaking of.
Right.
What's the tech side of artistic coaching like? So spill the tea. What kind of tech we talking here?
Okay, so get this. They're using video analysis, right? Which is already huge in sports.
Right, right.
But now they're using it to, like, break down those artistic details of how an athlete moves.
Whoa, so instead of just looking at like how fast someone's running or how far they threw something,
Exactly.
they can actually see like their posture and their timing, even their facial expressions.
All of it.
That's wild.
It's about finding those little things, the things you might not see at first that can really make a difference.
Like having a microscope on all those little details, right?
Perfect way to put it. And it gets even cooler.
Yeah.
Technology is making this type of coaching way more accessible.
Really?
Yeah. Online resources, virtual coaching. You don't have to be training at some elite facility to get it anymore.
Wait, hold up. So you're telling me anyone, like no matter their skill level, could actually access this kind of coaching?
That's the cool part.
Wow.
Whether you're, I don't know, a high school volleyball player who wants to be more agile, or someone who golfs on the weekends trying to get that perfect swing,
Okay.
it's out there.
That changes everything.
Yeah.
All right. So we've covered a ton today. What are like the main takeaways for people?
Yeah, good question. I'd say if you're into athletics at any level, really ask yourself, could I get better? Could I get an edge by adding in some artistic training?
Right.
Like maybe it's time to try that dance class in the off season or find a coach who gets how to weave those artistic principles in.
Yeah, yeah.
It could be a game changer.
Now, for anyone thinking about a career in coaching, this artistic coaching thing, that's got to be like a wide open field.
Oh, totally. As more and more people realize how important this is, the demand for coaches, especially good ones, it's only going to go up.
So you're saying it's like being in on the ground floor of something big.
Absolutely.
This whole thing, this idea of artistic coaching blew my mind. I always knew there was more to like being a great athlete than, I don't know, just what you saw on TV.
For sure.
But this is a whole new level.
It just goes to show sometimes the best solutions come from thinking outside the box, you know?
It makes you wonder what other like unusual approaches are out there just waiting to be discovered.
Right.
Maybe the key to like a huge breakthrough in anything is to just look beyond the obvious.
It all starts with being curious, right?
Yeah.
Questioning what you think you know and being open to new things.
Who knows what you might find?
Exactly.
Well, on that note, that's it for this deep dive into artistic coaching. Until next time.